How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation. It's time to get that imagination all revved up. Time to get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Frank Godwin. If you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a beautiful illustrator, painter, artist extraordinaire. He did work with Collier's, Ladies' Home Journal, tons of amazing paintings. He did a bunch of like children's books, illustration, and everything too. But I just love his sense of color and his mastering of anatomy and posing and overall layout of each and every piece. You can see these are some really strong, beautiful pieces there. This one right here, I think this is phenomenal piece. I really love the color. I think the whole layout, you see that each and every character is kind of directing the viewer's eye to the center here. You get lots of spacing here, even with the lettering around there. Just a great layout. This one I thought was a very almost Frazetta-like, who I hold in super high regard, and I believe there was some influence back and forth there. But yeah, just the coloring, the drapery is really nice here. Overall layout, the rendering of the face and the shadows and the lighting. It's just a great piece overall. Really, really wonderful. Probably in one of my top 5 of the week that I've come across of paintings there for sure. Again, another beautiful Robin Hood illustration. I really like how he renders out the water here with he makes it look like water. You know, not a lot of people just do like a layer where it wouldn't have ripples or anything, but you can see the splash effect there. You can see the distortion of the bridge above. You can see the shadows and all of the stuff, along with, you know, you got that same kind of line of action here, and one right there, and then you've got the contrasting with the background, and then great posing, really strong, balanced posing, and you've got the contrast here with you know, really off balance, and great hand poses. I really like the way that he chose to tilt the ankle here, and then you have the kind of line of action throughout the body going through there as well. So just some beautiful illustration work and painting work. This is from a Midnight Summer's Dream. I thought this was another great one. Just really captures the feel there as well. And he also worked on Connie, which was a comic strip. So he definitely could switch back and forth between a high level of polished illustration work and comics work, which it's not to say that one's better than the other, but they are two different ways of thinking for sure. And I know if I tend to do more realistic stuff and then I want to do more cartoony stuff, I know that there's definitely kind of a switch in there that it's hard to flip back and forth. And I think with years and years of experience, you get better and better at that. But that's something that I think it's, if you can master both and then kind of combine them a little bit, it really helps to reinforce the other. Like you can see this one, there's some whimsy and there's some almost comicness to this piece here, but still you've got this strong anatomy and great posing and realistic feel to the whole thing as well. So I wanted to share a quote with you guys from him as well, and that says, I haven't, actually this is attributed to him. Unfortunately, there isn't too much information that's out there, so this is the best that I could find, but I think it's a great quote. Whether it's, you know, it's a great no matter who said it, but I believe it's attributed to him from the 1920s or 30s, I believe. And it said, I haven't grown up myself, and I don't intend to. And you could say that's kind of anarchistic or punk rock statement of, you know, fight the system a little bit, which I always love that kind of stuff. I usually define myself as a old ancient punk kind of feel. I feel like I have the sensibilities of an old man, and also you know, just someone who wants to fight the system all the time. But I think it's great to have that mentality, because in any sort of creative field, you have to have this balance, I think, to be a successful creator. And it's something that I'm still experimenting with me, so feel free down in the comments below to disagree or let me know how you guys feel about this as well. But I think you have to have a balance, just like we were talking about comics versus you know, painting and illustration. illustration and the dichotomy there. You need to have a sophistication and an understanding of how to be successful and how to have a hard work ethic, but also always maintaining this kind of childlike fascination or whimsy or experimentation and getting into that imagination that I feel gets run out of a lot of adults. You know, you wake up and you go to your 9 to 5, and then you take care of whatever responsibilities you have to do after that, and then you're tired and you'll probably watch some TV or something and you go to bed, and there's none of this time where you get to experiment and play around with the things that you think and push your boundaries of your thought and your creativity and your imagination. I think that's extremely important. So maintain that childlike sense of wonder and wanting to know and reaching out and not being afraid to fail and just going out there. And I think that's really, really important. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some animation. Speaking of, being childlike, we're going to play around with a transformer rig. This is the Megatron rig. It's a free rig that you guys can grab over at Creative Crash. I will link to it in the description below if you guys want to play around with it. And if you're not familiar with what we're doing for the rest of the video, just a quick little pitch that I always give. First of all, thanks for watching. You guys are amazing, and I love you lots. But we'll be doing 48 frames of animation, give or take. Sometimes we do a little bit more, a little bit less. I go off and I find a rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with, and we kind of go from there. A little bit of over the shoulder, hang out with me while I animate, talking through the process, kind of going through the ins and outs, a little bit of instruction, a little bit of just trying to create an atmosphere of creativity. And the main goal of these videos is to encourage you guys to go out there and create something new each and every day. No matter if it's awesome or if it sucks or whatever, you're just trying to activate that part of your brain that gets run out of you through normal, daily, accepted life, and to inspire you guys to keep going on your journey each and every step of the way. No matter if you're 400 steps in front of me or 300 steps behind me or wherever you at in your creative journey, just keep going. I love you lots. You can do it. And let's go ahead and play around here. So I was thinking for today's video that we could do a little bit of kind of a climb or a hang or something like that. So let's see what we come up with here. Do it kind of like this. Like this. Bring that down. Copy that. And copy it, not cut it. And paste another one. Go to the other side. Move both of those over. And let's go ahead and bring the body up here. And the hands up as well. Now let's see. I need to scale these back a little bit more. So they're pretty small here. And we'll extend them out a little bit further. And I just felt like doing something a little bit different. So you can still do, some body mechanics and play around here, but something different than just a traditional kind of walk that we've been doing for the last few days. And let's go ahead and move the body up a little bit more. So get those hands up there. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring that back there. Let's see. Let's actually go the other way around if we're going to do this. So let's go here, and let's rotate. X. Go around the outside here. Go from the inside. Yeah, let's go around the outside. And don't be afraid to look ridiculous whenever doing your animation, especially when you're in the comfort of your own home studio or work studio. You always want to get out there and do your own video reference, or at least set up your own ideas for how you want to do your posing and try and do them in reality so that you can see how the body mechanics would work that might give you ideas that you wouldn't have had if you didn't move them and look ridiculous. And that goes for lip sync or acting or any of those kind of things. You always want to try and do it a little bit yourself and see how it feels and what you like about it, what works, what doesn't. And it'll just help push your animation a little bit more. And who cares what people think when they're looking at you being crazy? It's about having fun. It's about learning. It's about growing. And you can only do that through experiment and through a bit of failure. There's this thing that I've probably mentioned before, but I'll go ahead and talk about it again because it's been in my mind a little bit more recently. And that was there's a lot of people who talk about I can't draw. I can't even draw a straight line, or I can't draw a stick figure. Or you've probably heard that or thought that at one point yourself. And then the next question that I would ask, or that I've heard asked before, that I'd like to reiterate to that kind of thinking and that kind of mentality is, when's the last time that you actually drew, or that you actually painted, or that you actually tried doing a layup in basketball, or whatever it is? And chances are it's probably like, well, I don't know, like 8th grade or 7th grade or something like that. Well, that's why you can't do it. You have the skill level of a 8th grader. So don't expect that you're going to go in there with the skill of an adult. You're going to go in there and you're going to have whatever skill level was the last time that you really played around with whatever it is that you want to master. So don't be so hard on yourself. Let yourself be okay to be at an 8th grade level, or a 4th grade level, or whatever it is. Or maybe you guys are in 8th grade, in which case, if you are in 8th grade and you're watching this and you're trying to learn to animate, man, you're awesome. I just gotta say, because I don't know, when I was in 8th grade, I played a lot of music, which definitely helps. I think music is very helpful in whatever medium you go into, because then you can understand timing, and you understand you know, the staccato nature of music. And but what I was gonna say is, you know, don't be afraid to try new things, and don't be afraid to suck. It's okay to suck. You don't have to be a master at something right away. Just try, put some effort into it, get out there, play around, enjoy life, figure out what it is that you're passionate about. And so we're just trying to create that first storytelling pose here, and probably if I spent less time talking and more time posing, it would be a little bit further, but let's keep going here. Let's pull it back. I think I'm gonna do something more like that here. Seems a little bit more natural there. You know who's I don't know why it's on my mind, so I'll just mention it. Who's really fun and great to listen to if you guys are just getting into to art, and I feel like they don't get nearly enough recognition for the great things that they do for this community. That's Jersey Drozd. Check out his stuff. Really inspirational and motivational artist. Even if you know, maybe your tastes are for something different, just the way that he talks about the process and what's involved in it and everything is really inspiring and really motivational. So definitely check out his stuff. I don't know why that's in my head. It's not like it's a sponsored thing or anything. I just think he's great. So check out his stuff. And let's keep going. Just want to get some nice posing here. Why is that phone giving me any trouble? Now what's going to be kind of weird about this side is we got this whole gun thing, so maybe we can hide that later. I'm not going to worry too much about that for right now, and that's just something that we'll tweak as we go. Just want to get the basics built so we can start doing some animating besides just posing. But it's important to lock in a good starting pose, especially if you're doing more of a straight ahead method than a pose to pose. You really want to have a good strong pose to start with. And if you're not familiar with straight ahead versus pose to pose would be you create a great pose at frame 12, and then the next thing you do is you create another great pose at frame 20, and then you keep going until you're done, but you haven't really done a lot of in-betweens or breakdowns or anything, just some really strong posing, which is great for acting, I think. But for body mechanics, I tend to go with more of a straight ahead method, or you get lock in a really good pose to start with, and then kind of go from there. And that way you can keep tweaking things and keep going back, and that's pretty much the method that I follow, but it's not what everybody does. So definitely don't just watch my videos, don't just take my word for it. Go out there, play around, watch other people, listen to other people, and figure out what works for you, because that's what I ended up having to do, and my method and way that I work changes all the time. So always trying to grow. And there's a cool thing from it was on the subreddit, the VFX subreddit, yesterday, for a link to a bunch of stuff from Digital Tutors that you could get a free subscription for a little while. So definitely check out the VFX subreddit, and if you're not familiar with Reddit, you should be, because Reddit's awesome. But yeah, Digital Tutors is really helpful as well, so definitely check out that if you can find it, and I'll have to see if I can find a link to that as well. Okay, so I finally got something that kind of works here. I feel like we can still push this a little bit more, but go ahead and do something like that. I think we could do a little more puff in the chest, and we'll counter animate it here. We'll rotate that foot forward a little bit more. And I think we'll go with that to start off with. Okay, so let's go ahead and save our file. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video, so if you want more information on Maya, definitely check out a link that I always throw in the description below, as well as a few books that I've always that have been super helpful as I learn and continue to learn more and more about animation. So if you want more resources, I always link to those, and there's usually a couple of I think in the main portion of my YouTube channel, I link to some other great resources that are available on YouTube. Like the Animation Mentor YouTube channel is great. Also the I Animate and Will Terry and Kevin Cross, and some just top-notch guys and gals out there. So let's go here, push that forward, and we'll just start building this. And since this is really based on the hands and the hips, that's going to be more important than our feet for right now. The feet would kind of be secondary to what we're working with. Let's set that, push that forward. Let's look at our Translate Z. And we're going to have to move the hips forward in Z as well. Try to keep the spacing between each forward movement fairly similar. We'll probably have to go in and clean that up in our graph editor anyways. And we'll key that. We'll go to our next one. Push that forward here. Push the hips forward here. And again, this is different than kind of a cycling animation. This is going to be pretty much like a straightforward, something that you'd put in more of a short or a cutscene or something if you're doing a video game, or if you were animating a movie or something. This is how more of the approach than doing something that's a cycle, which would be more for video game animation, for while the gameplay is going, rather than a cutscene sort of thing. So let's see. Alright, we're gonna need to clean that up, because as you can see, it seems to have like a big move at the beginning, then kind of slows down, then another kind of big move towards the end. So let's make that a little more consistent. So let's pop open our graph editor, look at our Translate Z. Again, that's the movement from left to right across the screen. And let's make that more of a constant. If we left it like this, this would be a slow amount of movement left to right, then a big gap, and then a slow amount. And we want a pretty consistent amount, so we're going to make that fairly straight here. So, and we could switch to linear curves, but I like to keep everything in spline. It's just, for me, that's how it works. You guys might have a different approach, and let me know if you do. Happy to always learn and try different things, and I think it's a good thing to do as anyone who's, you know what, I'm just gonna go out there and say it, that I don't think I think any person, and this I guess could be a little bit controversial, who says that they're a master, probably isn't. And that's not to say that there aren't people who are really good, but I think once you say that you've mastered something, I personally feel like that's as far as you can go with that. And I think for myself, no matter how many years I spend doing this or how many books I read or any of that kind of stuff, I don't think I'll ever say that I've mastered something. It seems to be the more you think that you know about something tends to be the less you really do, from what I've come to understand. So let me know what you guys think. If you think that that you can say, okay, well, I've taken some classes in there, I've spent a couple years doing it, I'm a master at this. I think that's the wrong way to approach and to think about anything that's creative or that's in the world of imagination and creativity. I think you never can really master that. It's all about this is where you're at right now. And you can see that, like, I guess I'm just going to say weird stuff today. Sometimes people who, let's say they were really good at doing something 10 years ago, like a great musician 10 years ago, and they're having their comeback tour or whatever it may be. And this is not calling anyone out in specific, but a lot of times you'll see that, you know, this fire that they had when they first were on the scene and first doing everything, and then they start making some money and they start, you know, getting into a different life, they lose that after a while. And unless you're really hitting it hard each and every day and pushing yourself as far as you can go and letting yourself fail and letting yourself just continue to experiment and explore and pushing that, if you become complacent and be like, oh, you know, I'm a master at this, I don't need to learn or study or do any of that kind of stuff, then I think you stagnate. And that's not who I am. Maybe that's, I think you guys are better than that. I don't think any of you guys would ever give up on your dreams or quit pushing. I think if you're watching these videos that I'm doing, you probably are at that place where you're just amazingly creative and you're going to keep pushing yourself. And chances are you're a million times better than I am or I will ever be, so don't give up on yourself. Have a lot of confidence and let yourself just have fun. And a lot of people say the journey is half of the fun, and we as human beings tend not to appreciate that. And I think it's something I'm trying to learn to do. A little more philosophical, I guess, today, or talking more about the process than anything. So let's go ahead and do kind of the passing position on these hands here. So we'll dip that down, go back up, dip that down, go back up. Now the only thing is I don't like the way this elbow is. I wonder if there is an elbow controller, which I believe there is, and there we go. So let's go ahead and bring those up and bring them forward. So that way that should be a little better. There we go. And then when we go down here, I think I want to go down further. Try and get a nice straight, if we can, there. Add a little more weight that way. And then if we're worried about breaking the hand or anything, let's push our translate X's, which is our side to side, a little bit more. Get a little more sway in there. That feels a little better. Might have to do a little bit less up and down here. See, we're extending past the amount of movement, so it's causing this dip down in that hand, and I don't want that. So let's see. As you can see with this hand, we're not getting that same thing, so it could be a problem just with this hand overall. So I'm just gonna do a little less down on that side, the other side. See if we just get that little blip there, so let's do even a little bit less here. And hold on just one second. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see where we're we. Alright, let's do some stuff with the chest. Haven't really done that yet. So let's rotate Z there to favor that. We're gonna have to offset and move over the hips as well when we get there, but this is what we want to do so that we'd have that pull from there and the drop down there. And let's go here. And go back to zero that out. So it's not going to feel exactly right yet till we get the hips working. But let's see here. And then we'll have to redo the translation a little bit more, or amp up the translation a little bit more. So let's see. And let's push the translate X out there. And bring that back down there. And I might have to tone down some of this stuff too, but okay, yeah, let's just tone down everything a little bit more. So let's look at the rotate Z there, and we'll just scale it back a little bit more. Do about half of what we have there. Let's keep playing around here. We need to do more up and down, but let's tone down the rotate Z here. There. Let's see. But I want the lowest part to be in the middle of the swing here. These need to be lower. That feels a little better. Might need to pull it up universally a little bit more, but I want more up and down in between here. So let's look at it now. Okay, let's do some rotation here. And we'll rotate Y, so we'll favor that front arm there. And favor that front arm there. There. And there again. So let's look at it now. favor that front arm. Do that to favor that front arm. Same over there, over here, and over there. So let's see it now. And then let's do the opposite here. It's funny to have everything usually so hip-centric, and this one needs to be more chest-centric, so I'm having to kind of invert my usual thinking here. Still need more up and down. The problem is then we lose some of these. Like that needs to be higher. So we have to bring that up to about there. Let's go a little bit higher there too. And let's put this on to 7s instead of 6s. We'll slow it down a little bit more. So 2, 4, 6, 8 should be 54 then. Let's just take everything and we'll just kind of give ourselves one extra frame in between everything here. Just feels a little too fast. Just a little bit. Actually, what is that? 56, not 54? Yeah. Let's scale that back a little bit there too. It feels a little better. Hand now. And again, we'll go through and we'll tweak them more, but I'm just still trying to build the base here a little bit. You want to get a good foundation for everything before you start worrying about any other real nuances. So let's see here. Okay. And then let's look at the chest here and let's go. Puff that out and pull it back. Puff it out. Pull it back. Puff it out. Pull it back. Puff it out and pull it back. And let's look at that. Let's even that up a little bit more. So much. And then let's look at the hips and we'll kind of do the opposite there. Back and forward, back, forward, back, and forward. So let's see. still have to do some stuff on the legs to get a nice swing on the legs here. Let's bring that back. And we're just kind of scaling that down a little bit, and then we'll watch it a couple times and see if we balanced it fairly well with the chest. Okay. And let's say this leg. And that's forward. Let's swing it forward there. And back on that one. Forward on that. And back there. So let's see. Actually, let's go both of them back here, and then forward there, and back here, and forward there, back here, forward there, back here, forward there. So let's go and see that now. But we want to actually go at probably like 10, so it's a little bit delayed. Kick back here, and kick forward there, there. Keep that, bring it down there, bring that forward. Let's see. I mean, that might be a little too much, so maybe we'll scale it back a little bit. Try to find a good balance here. And we'll definitely vary the legs and stuff too, but we just want to get a good bit of starting to come together. And then let's look at some rotate C here. And there. And there. There. It's got to work better. this one. Only every other one. So let's look at those rotate Ys, and let's just get rid of them for right now. Notice how that side swing. Okay. Let's look at here. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Forward. Back. Forward and back again. That feels a little better. Okay. I think I was just thinking too fast there. Let's bring it forward, bring it back, bring it forward, bring it back. So let's see. Okay, and let's just cut that down by probably about 50% here. It feels a little better than what it was before. Let's get the rotate more. Let's do a little bit less there. A little bit more on that side. A little bit less there. And a little bit more here. And let's look at this one. And we'll do a little bit more there. And a little bit less on that side. Just to try and mix them up a little bit more if we can. And let's mix up the rotate Ys a little bit more. So this one can swing forward a little bit. Maybe not as far back there. Forward a little bit so we can get a little bit of passing in the feet. Okay, and then we'll vary this one. We'll do a little bit less there. A little bit more, swing back. was hoping there might be a stretch or something that we could do here. So we could have a little bit more dip. Doesn't appear like there is. There is a little bit of that though. Might use that a little bit more. Back, forward, back. It's kind of a shoulder controller there. Just help a little bit more. That feels a little better. And let's look at the other side here. I'll do a little bit of rotate back there. Forward. Back there. Forward. Again, we got some intersection and stuff there, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. And this last one. See this last pose though? We need the translate Z to be a little bit further. I do feel like this last move is a little too little, so maybe we'll do a little bit more there. That feels a little better. Let's look at the toe here. And over there. Just try and keep a nice flow throughout the pose if we can. Let's go about 2 frames later with that. Let's try doing the inverse, see if we can loosen it up even more. I think one thing I'm going to do here is push that over to the side a little bit more. Feels a little more natural there. Let's do a little bit of rotate there, 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 and back again. And we'll do a little bit of rotate Y here as well. Just feels a little stiff in the head area. So let's see. Maybe we'll do a little bit of bounce there. Might be too much, so let's see. Maybe we'll delay it a frame 2. Let's see. Yeah, let's do the opposite there with the head. So we'll have it squash where it leaned back, and go forward where it was back, and back where it was forward there. Okay, and let's delay it a frame, amp it up even more. Let's see now. Okay, yeah, let's keep it flipped the way it was before. We just need to amp it up a little more. Maybe a little bit less than that. let's get into doing some more stuff on the hands here, because the hands are feeling really stiff. So let's get into this one. Again, we want to lock in all the main keys that we had already so we don't lose those. And right here we want to go out and out again. Clamp it. Actually, maybe we'll drag a little bit more. So let's see. Okay, now let's look at the other side here. And again, we just want to key in all of our main keys that we have, just to make sure. And let's push this forward a little bit and translate Z. There we go. I feel like it was a little slippy. Alright, and let's go about 3 frames in, rotate that out, flip it out again, rotate it out, out again. The translate Y feels like it's maybe a little too low there. So the translate X, it's maybe off a little bit. We can tone it down a little bit. Just doesn't feel so hot just yet. So let's swing it out even more. Swing it out even more. Let's see. Let's get into our outliner here. And what would this be? His right arm? There we go. Yeah, let's just turn that off there. Okay. It does feel like there's some shakiness here, so let's see what it is. Get rid of that. Right. And let's see. Let's do just a little bit, just to mix it up a little bit more. I might tone that down a little bit too. Yeah, it helps make the pelvic bowl feel like it's working a little bit better. Let's see. Let's watch it now. Just helps loosen that up a little bit more. Yeah, let's look at the fingers now. Maybe that'll help us loosen this hand up a little bit. I just feel like this hand isn't as great as the other side. And I think it's probably, if I'm looking at it straight on, I think I have this bar off a little bit too much an X versus the other one. So that could be why. So let's see if we can't get in here and tweak some stuff out. And again, we just kind of want to key in our main places where we have the closed grip there. I'm just going to do 2 frames after, so then we get 3. And now we'll go here, off, up, and clamps down. And let's go 3 off from this, so we make sure that we're not intersecting. Cut there, and then bring it up here and clamp it down. That should help our grips a little better. Okay, and then we'll take all the 2s here, which would be index 2, mid 2, and pinky 2, and we'll delay them a frame. And I'll take index 1 and 2 and push it forward a frame, and pinky 1 and 2, and we'll delay it a frame there. And we'll mix up the hand posing a little bit more, so we'll get a little bit of. Okay, it's starting to work, and let's look at the thumb here. And let's maybe see if we can't get a better thumb. So let's see, where's that thumb spread there? And then we go 46, key that. There we go. Might have to do a little bit more. It's a bummer. Just intersects with that pull too much there, so that's probably why we were doing that to begin with. Okay, and let's try and get a little more on that thumb if we can. Again, key that. Key it again. Key it again. And key it again. We should be able to break it up here. Feels better. Okay, and let's grab this guy, and we're going to just key all those main important areas one more time. And we'll go 2 frames after, so we need that little settle 2 frames before for this one and just delay it. 2. Okay. And we'll go about 3 frames out. Out there. Again, out there. Close down. 3 frames out from there. Bring them out. Bring those guys out again. Yeah, let's look at that now. Okay. And let's take all of the 2s, which would be like the tips of the fingers, and we'll delay those a frame. I'll take the index, and we'll push it forward a frame, and the pinky, and push it back a frame, so that way we've got a few frame variation from our hand posing there. Get that little bit of successive grip starting with the index. Let's look at the thumb spread here. Go and bring it out that way. Out that way. And bring it back. Okay, and then let's go ahead and grab these things here and see if we can't make this a little bit cooler here. Let's assign a new material to both of them. Let's put a Lambert on there. And let's make them a little more transparent here. Now let's change the color to like a red color here. Let's see here. And let's stretch them out a little bit more. Maybe kind of like laser beams or something like that. Let's see. And then let's grab both of them and let's save our file again one more time before we start messing around too much with this. And copy that and paste it. Move them over here. And then copy that again. Paste it again. Move that over to the other side, about like that. And then copy that again. Paste that again. I'll move it to the other side. Make it look like a laser beam field or something that he's passing through. I don't know. Just thought it was more interesting than just having 2 little gray bars there. And actually, let's do one more pass on those and put them on the other side there. And it doesn't have to be exact spacing, but kind of going for something a little bit uniform there. And we can do something like that. Okay, yeah, let's make sure that we grab all of these here. We set them there. I'll go ahead and delete that and delete that. So we make sure that they aren't moving through, even though that's kind of cool. And let's turn our curves off. Let's go ahead and look at that now. Yeah, just adds a little more intrigue into our shot there. You know what might be cool? Let's go ahead and grab all these again, copy them, and paste them. Grab all of them again, and we'll drop go ahead and save our file again so we don't lose it. Thinking we could do copy those, paste them, grab them, and let's just do all of them. Okay. Let's do an outliner here. Group 6, and then we can just bring, there we go, okay. I'm gonna put them in like kind of a little bit more peril there. Let's see. And then what if we grabbed group 6 and we set a key there, and every 10 frames it would move up, move back. Kind of fluctuate there. I don't know. Might be kind of fun to do. So let's see. It's too fast. Let's go every 15 frames. 30. Go 30. Just to add some more adventure to our shot. This one we'll move to 30 frames. So we'll move that back. And we've got 45. And this way we have different timing here too. Go 56. That's fine. And we could grab the, let's see, everything, and offset it a frame. So let's see. There we go. And maybe we'll go a little bit lower there. A little bit lower there too. Adds a little bit of peril and dynamism, I guess would be the dynamicness to our shot here. Let's go ahead and look at that again. Do you feel like it's a little too high on this one and that one. And again, this is just more layout of a shot. Just seemed like it would be fun to add a little bit in there. Almost done here. Grab one. Where we go? Okay, I think that's it. And then go ahead and do a little bit less there. A little bit less there. Let's see if we can't get into there. That feels a lot better. Elbow's a little harsh on that last grab, but I think it still works. So let's go ahead and call that for today. We can definitely play around with this for a lot longer, but let's take a look back at where we started. We were looking at the beautiful work of Frank Godwin, and he said, I haven't grown up myself and I don't intend to, and I think that's a great attitude to have. That doesn't mean that don't be mature and push yourself and try hard, but to keep that whimsy and that childlike wonder and imagination and creativity and desire to get better, to grow, and to learn more active, and keep it a big part of your life. And I think that'll do it for today. I love you guys lots. If you're watching this, you are the creative future. Keep on going. Keep on pushing yourself each and every day. Keep on making further steps on your journey. And with that being said, we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.